Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's Tech Talk. I am your host, Colleen McCartney, and I am super excited to be here with the amazing Crystal Nichols here. So, Crystal is, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that you are a badass from the back in for network marketing, and you got yourself to like the top tiers over there, and you've shifted into coaching on viral content after being able to understand how the algorithms work, how to stay on top of trends, and all of that. You realize that there are so many people who could benefit from learning how to make this viral content because with the way that the algorithms work and there's like so many things to be aware of. Like, I know my spicy brain on if I become an expert in that, I'm gonna have to lose my expertise in something else because it'll take all my time. So tell us a little bit. So what we're going to be talking about today is we already know, right, within Nerdly, with Groove Track, how we go from post to profit, right? But what we're going to talk about today is how do we get people to get into that content, get into that viral zone where we can expand our reach and grow our audience like wildfire.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Colleen, I started in the social selling and the digital marketing space over a decade ago. So I'm, pretty OG here. I've seen the shifts, I've seen all the changes. I was pre-COVID and now we're in the post-COVID era, right? Where everything has completely changed. The scary thing is if you've been in marketing for as long as I have, you're probably still doing a lot of the old tricks of the trade, thinking that it's still working, and you're getting crickets and you're staying frustrated. I built I cultivated over $60 million in sales on my online business in the last 10 years. So I knew what to do. But as we started shifting further and further away from COVID, then what happened was everything started shifting. The same strategies that we were using to get leads weren't working. And I'll tell you guys, I had a Facebook group with over 364,000 people in it. I have a Facebook group with 20,000 people in it. We had lead generators, we had funnels, we had the things in place. We just couldn't get the people to put in there to funnel to buy. And it became a problem. Numbers were going down, ships were sinking. And so I started really paying attention to the influencers on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and kind of starting to observe what they were doing. And I thought, influencing per se isn't a teachable skill. It's kind of a really micro niche, and a lot of those people have a super it factor ability about them that you just can't duplicate. But the great thing is I really studied it and I started beta testing a lot of the process, and I have figured out a strategy that is duplicatable, whether you're in MLM or just working it for yourself. That was my goal, was to figure out how I could do it and then how I could teach other people to do it and become successful with the same process. Now, there's strategy to it. And I will be honest with you, I do use a lot of short form videos. I do use a lot of like small posts. We did a lot of testing. We do a lot of reading on the insights. But what's really cool is people think that if they become an influencer and then they go viral, they have to do like dumb dances on TikTok and Instagram. That's probably what you think. Like, oh, to go viral, I have to look retarded. Well, I'll tell you guys, I've got teenagers. I've got a 20-year-old and an 18-year-old. So if I show up and look silly on social, then we're
They're
out.
gonna let you know.
They're gonna let me know, and they're gonna be like, "Mom, that was cringy," you know. So yeah. So we've got to definitely figured out what that looks like in a strategy so that we can replicate it and get the same results each time.
So is it about doing those silly dances, or is it like those? I know I've read a lot about those audio, like make sure you're using trending audio, make sure you're using certain hashtags, like, and it seems from my perspective just so incredibly nuanced, like how tell me more about like how you're able to like replicate that, like what is like how like what are the things they need to be looking for, not how, what do they need to be looking for when they're trying to make that viral content. And
Yeah.
also I believe you have like some really juicy training for them to be able to opt into, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've got some definite great freebies for you guys today. And as I kind of go through this and share with you, I'll tell you what they are. So
Amazing.
yeah. So as far as we're going to focus kind of on Instagram, because what I found was from Instagram, it's really easy to take that content and kind of put it over into TikTok and put it over into Facebook. But if you really get good at Instagram, the other two kind of follow suit, interestingly enough. And that's a different training for a different day, but we're going to just niche it down and stay on Instagram. Because I think that's where people are wanting to learn and wanting to grow at, right? And you can apply the same strategy that we're talking
And your
about.
Instagram content showing up on Facebook, whether or not you're on Facebook, Instagram's content's coming over there because, you know, Mr. Zuckerberg realized that that's the way to go to be able to compete against TikTok.
Correct.
That's also a whole nother soapbox that we will not get into today, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm nerdy about, like the back end of it all.
But let me tell you this, don't let your Facebook content go to Instagram.
No?
No, I'm going to say that again. Don't, because your Facebook and your Instagram are not the same. Facebook is it can be like more of your pillars, your 5 pillars. Instagram really wants you to be micro niched. They really want you to be micro niched. Okay. So you've got to kind of figure out what that looks like and you've got to roll with it. Now, the first step is you've got to figure out what that looks like. So you need to play around in your pillars and put short form video reels out there to see what performs the best within your pillars, right? So if your pillars are, what are your pillars, Colleen? Throw me out some of your ideas.
So we've got system setup, acquire through automations. Then we got the onboarding, automated onboarding advantage, and social automations.
Okay, so if I was talking to you, Colleen, I'd say, okay, let's start creating a video and doing some impact statements around those niches, and let's start watching. Let's do it for about 2 weeks and beta test it, and let's start watching to see what's getting the most views. Does that make sense on your profile? And then we start to watch that algorithm. We start to watch those insights, right? And then we start to narrow down what Instagram is liking and what they're promoting. Okay.
Ooh, so like beyond the pillars, right? Instead of just like picking one, you're putting some on all 4 of your pillars to see which one Instagram's trying to push out, and then focusing on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that is smart. Like, because I do know, like, especially on social, like, you gotta stick into your niche, because that's what's going. It's all about consistency and repetition, right? About what it, once you know what Instagram likes, they're going to be able to push that out. And I always get caught in my head because I'm like, well, I got the 4, I got to do all 4. So that's so interesting. If you guys found that interesting, comment niche. Like, I want to know, like, is this helpful for you to know that even though you have your 4 pillars and we know how important that is to our business, that when you're trying to create viral content on Instagram, that getting into a micro niche, so like one of your pillars is helpful, right?
Right. But test them all to see which one it likes the best, because you've already probably got a pre-established audience. Like I had a pre-established audience when I started this about 4 months ago. I really started digging in, and about 4 months ago, I just decided, like, I have conquered Facebook. I'm going to go figure out Instagram, and I'm going to monetize the heck out of it. And I've had like 10 viral videos since I decided, and I get about 100 new followers every single day, organic followers. You know what I mean?
That's bananas.
Yeah. So let me just tell you, I didn't have my Instagram presence 5 years ago. I'm growing it currently right now as we speak, but I'm doing the things, and my reach goes up every single day by about 100,000. So those are the things I want you to start paying attention to. Yeah. And it'll get to 100,000 followers, but the strategy right now that I'm using is working, and that's what I'm teaching. And I'm seeing a lot of replication with it with all my personal coaching clients that I have. They're doing the same things and they're seeing the results as well, which is what we want, because there's no point in having a sales process if we can't get warm leads to talk to sell to, right? It's pointless.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, that's one of the reasons that's always held me back is I don't want to take the time to make the content if I can't I'm a maximizer. If I can't maximize what I'm doing, why am I taking my time to do it?
Right. I don't throw spaghetti against the wall and hope it sticks.
Yeah. I tried that for a bit. And then I was honestly I was like, oh, I don't know.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
If
And
you
you,
look at some of the old content on the nerdly.io profile, yeah, and that's why that page has not gotten a whole lot of content. So when we're talking about Instagram, are we talking about a personal profile, a business, like business slash creator profile? Like,
so yeah, that's a great
what's the
question.
difference in Instagram world over there?
You want to upgrade to professional. Okay. You want to be verified, meta verified. Important. Go spend the $10. If you have an online business, go spend the $10 and get meta or 20 or whatever it is. I don't know. It's on auto draft. Get the
20
blue.
on Facebook and 20 on Instagram. I only know that because I'm on Facebook and I haven't been able to convince myself to pull that trigger on the gram.
Okay. Well, yeah. So get verified, turn it to a professional account, and then pick what your niche is. For me, I'm digital creator and a coach. So that's what I have at the very top of it. Social seller, whatever fits your demographic the best. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about how I started getting figured this out. So I have several pillars that I really focused on, and I thought, oh, these are going to go crazy. So for you guys that don't know me, I have a horse ranch in Texas. So farming ish is one of my like, oh, I love to farm. Oh, I could probably make video content about this. Oh, I'm a social seller. I could make video content about this. Oh, I love to bake and make sourdough bread. I could make No, nobody gave a rat's tail about any of that stuff, interestingly enough. Okay. I was actually pretty disheartened when my social selling content didn't go viral. You know what went viral for me, Colleen, and what I've been able to monetize?
What?
My salty mom jokes. I'm a single mom of 3 girls and I have teenagers. People love my take on humor, being a mom of teens, and all the like, kind of just throw back and forth that we do.
Throw a little laugh track because I think it's hilarious. I know
Yeah.
it tracks though, because like the reality is when people are in social, it's in a form of escapism. A lot of them are going there for entertainment. And let's not kid ourselves about the amount of people scrolling social. What else are they doing while they're scrolling? They're looking for funny. So that tracks. That makes sense. Like that is whenever I'm although my algorithm very much knows it needs to send me all the Disney memes all day. But again, it's the funnies. It's the connecting over a shared passion, a shared experience, something that actually draws beyond, like that connects you to that person as a human, right?
Yeah.
That life experience that I too did that. I too have had that experience, right?
Yep.
Because then from there, if they're now that they're engaged with you, now when they're following, oh, my brain's already connecting some dots here. That's the plus minus a spicy brain. I'm like, oh, I see where we're going.
Yep.
And that is awesome, right? Because that's the whole thing that we teach in the first place is about using these automated automation so that you can create that organic automation so that you can actually create relationships and connect with people on social media as a human, right? Like there's so much going on with AI and bots, and they have a time and a place. Mm-hmm. My AI help bot for customer service and tech support is chef's kiss. However, like when you're actually trying to connect with your audience, grow your audience, right? You have to have a piece that connects with you, right?
Absolutely. You are absolutely spot on. And that's the thing about it. So pre-COVID, okay, because we really did, it was like historical pre-COVID, right? And now we're in the post-COVID era. Pre-COVID, you could throw out a picture or a reel of your product that you were selling or your class or your coaching or your tech or your SaaS or whatever, and people would just buy it. That's not the way it works anymore. In fact, those posts get zero traction in the algorithm. I got so tickled the other day. I was on a training with one of the companies that I brand rep for, and they were talking about regulations, and they were showing us posts that were compliant, and what they were calling compliant had zero traction because people are going to run from your sales pitch these days unless we're smart about how we market it. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing here, what we're doing differently, because it's actually a lot more fun. You get to be a lot more human. You're going to enjoy showing up every day. I love showing up every day because I get to laugh, and my kids help me make content now. Now, if you're looking for formats, different short form video formats, go ahead and say formats. Not everybody is going to want to do video content with their kids. There's a lot of different ways to make content. And what I choose to do is more of the trending. Like I try to become like, I make it more trendy. That's one of the hardest things to try to figure out. There's other formats that you can do that will go viral that are a lot simpler. Especially if you're an educator or you're a teacher or you do things like what Colleen does within her pillars. So say format, and I will get you my formats worksheet so you can look at that and see what would fit your niche the best. But I'll tell you, one of my hooks that went absolute crazy was one of my very first viral videos was to all the teens who are being raised by 80s babies who barely survived the 90s because we didn't have curfews, cell phones, and our parents couldn't spy on us on social media. Like, can you feel me there, Colleen? Like, are you getting all the feels? Like taking me back to communities?
Yeah. Oh my, and touching that nostalgia button. Ooh.
Right. So that's me too. I was born in 85. I'm a 90s kid. So then that's the hook, right? And I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about that in a second. And then my payoff is, how's Life 360 treating all y'all right now? Right? Like kind of my jab that, right? And all I did, you guys, was I took some Snapchat videos that I had stored on my phone because I snap with my kids all the time of them being salty and smarting off to me in the kitchen one night. I slapped a video. Wasn't even like an up and coming trending video. I've played with that trending video strategy. Oh, find the newest trend with 2,000 uses and over 1 million views on the first video. And I will tell you, that's not really been the case for me. I actually have better success using really, really trending audios that people can really hear and love and just automatically know in their soul. I have better success with that. But made that super simple. So I just grabbed that video, threw on a really good hook, kept it really short, had a great song that was fitting for that salty comment, and then the payoff was, how's Life 360 treating you? Went crazy.
That is amazing. Yeah, and especially if you're going for like that nostalgia bit, right? Songs that they're going to be able to self-identify immediately. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I love that. And that's a heck of a lot easier than tracking what is trending on Instagram.
Yeah, because it is hard to find those trending videos. Audios. I did spend some time for a while, like giving those to people and saying, "Here's the trending audios for the week," but it wasn't really working for me. So I'm like, I'm not going to really push this concept because it wasn't working. And then all the trainings that I did that I paid for, because I do come to you with a lot of training and a lot of expertise, paid for this. I don't just come to you as like, instant stardom, the one hit wonder. I've actually spent a lot of time diving into this and studying this with experts. So those are the first 3 steps. A good hook to draw them in, right? Cut the lull. If there's too much time between the hook and the payoff at the end of the video, right? So the hook was to all the teens, blah, blah, blah. How's Life 360 treating you? That was the payoff. Those are the first 3 steps. A good hook, cut out the lull, and then finish with a good payoff. Okay. So those are your first 3 steps. And as you start to look at that, you're like, well, how do I know if I have too much lull time? Right. Those are little tricks and tips that I'll definitely be teaching you as we progress. If you do want to come on, message me. I've got some different trainings and some different assets that I can send you. If you want my hooks worksheet, not really a worksheet, but like it's got hooks there and you can fill in the blanks with whatever you're doing. Say hooks. I'll get that to you. It's pretty powerful and they're pretty golden. They're something that I have beta tested myself. Go ahead and say that. So does that make sense, Colleen, where I'm kind of headed with that?
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, I've been distracted because I'm seeing all the comments coming in, and for whatever reason, they're not showing up over here today. But yeah, no, they are loving this, right? You don't push what doesn't work for you. That is such a great nugget out of what you've been talking about, right? It is so helpful, right? Like you got to be able to know like what is working for you. And even if it's because it's not about you, like it's not about what you think is going to be great. It's you got to, just like most things, you got to test which of your bits is going to connect with your audience, right? Because it is about finding that thing besides your work, right? Because nobody's going on Instagram to scroll through stuff and be like, who's got the best coaching program? Right?
No.
Like that's typically not what people are looking for. Right?
Exactly.
You got to be able to connect with them on a human level. And then once they see that content, they engage and follow, then they'll, let's be real, also, you know, when you're following a creator, you're going to go to their profile and then you see all this other content that you hadn't necessarily seen yet. You're like, oh, that's what they do. Cool. Right. And that's, I mean, I know that especially neurospicy content creators, oh yeah, no, I will follow them and I will find them because that to me is something that that's something important to me and that I connect with the content creators on. Right. And just like with you, it's you being the salty mom.
Exactly. And it's interesting. You can usually kind of take a look at what you're following, and that might give you a pretty good idea of your micro niche and what you could even start creating content around. Does that make sense? What you're kind of already looking at. And you can look at some of the hooks that are drawing you in and then think about how you could change that to fit what you do. And so I've had a lot of people kind of push back, like, how are you selling off of making content about your kids and about being a single mom of 3 with teenagers, you know? And I do a lot of divorce humor on my page too. I mean, like, it's just a thing. I mean, I get along great with my ex, but I mean, let's laugh about it, right? I mean, it was best 175 pounds of weight I've ever lost.
And tell me, you can't even tell me yet. I don't care if married, single, whatever. That was funny.
Yeah.
And something that's really funny, right? And it's, you know, and that's a very human thing to create humor out of life, right?
Exactly. And so there absolutely is a way to sell from those. Absolutely there is. And that is part of the strategy that I'll be teaching in the mini mind course that I'm offering in September. It's $99. It's 6 weeks. We're going to dive through this whole entire platform of content. I'm going to show you exactly what to do from beginning to end. And to quote one of my mentors, Jenna, I'm going to lovingly force you to do it and get it done, because it's no good if you don't do it. And Colleen, I will be really honest with you. This training is dirt cheap, but I want people to get in and I want them to learn this and I want them to see the changes, because it was so cool for me when I did it. And I've had a lot of fun doing it. And so this is hashtag beta. It's our first round. So we're doing it dirt cheap. I've got a few more seats at the $99 price point, and then it's going to go up to $199 from there. But I do have a few more seats for that. So just
awesome. And I love this. Like, this is why I love, you know, connecting, partnering, and getting really awesome people in front of my audience, because I know that my people are really good humans that are making trying to make a positive impact on the world. So I want to make sure that we get them connected with resources, guidance, and support that's going to help them get across that finish line and be able to make a positive impact.
Absolutely. And it's beautiful the way that our strategies actually come together, because if you guys are already implementing all the wonderful tools, which I am from Nerdly, okay, you may need to add some lead generation to your strategy so that you become even more efficient.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. Right? You can't keep your funnel full. You got to go from point A to point B, or it's not mathing. It's not.
And what's really cool is, like, if you are on your Instagram business page, we can do some super bananas automations, right? So we make this viral content. We have the automation on your Instagram business profile that will be able to get a conversation going, have them opt into a lead magnet, and guess where they're going after that lead magnet? We're sending them right to your Facebook group, where you can actually run that group white glove group strategy, your weekly content strategy, right? So you guys see how all of this flows together, right? It is amazing. And because we're using Group Track, right? If they don't respond to you right away, you can be tracking them in Group Track. Now, with typical like Instagram business pages and tools like Nerdly and High Level, right? Or manage any of those, right? There's a window where you can keep talking to them. Well, when you leverage a tool like Group Track, you can keep track of where they are and then be like, okay, great, I need to go send them a message and be able to actually do that and know where they are. Like, it's just such a rad combo. And I'm so pumped to be able to get you in front of folks to help them create that content that's going to get that, immediate, those likes, the follows and comments on their content. Right.
Absolutely.
So,
It's a game. It's a game changer. And you don't need to pay for it. You don't need to run ads. You can, but I'd rather spend my money on other things. And it's not hard to learn how to do it, to track it, to create it, and then to learn and keep playing with that concept. Okay. So real quickly, I want to
when is you're doing a masterclass, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about that.
Okay. So the masterclass, it's like I said, it starts September 9th. It is, well, actually, I'm calling it a mini mind because it's going to last for 6 weeks.
Oh, so that's like a full-on like mini program over there. 6 weeks.
Yeah, it is.
That's amazing.
It is, but I love what I do. I am passionate about it, and I want to help as many people as I can learn this process.
You're doing a 6-week program for $97?
$99. And there's a few more. Yep.
All right, y'all. If you are not hopping in on this, like, that is some major value. $99 for this program over 6 weeks to be able to know how to make the content that's going to go viral and go through your stuff to be able to get them from the gram or Insta, whatever youngins want to call it these days, and then that's amazing. Oh man. I think I might have to pop in over there. That might have to be a thing.
Love to have you. Have you.
With that said, make sure you guys, if you're interested, make sure you're in our Facebook group and you leave a comment so that Crystal knows that you are trying to talk with her. Because what do? We only put offers in front of people who have raised their hand. So if you don't raise their hand, she won't know you want it. And this is an insane offer. So definitely grab onto that. Get yourself going. I don't know, maybe we'll even have like a little co-working session in Nerdly to be able to hold your hand, make sure but that's actually what you're doing. Yeah, so that's silly. Get it. Wow. Okay. So with that note, is there any like burning desires you want to share before we close out?
I can't express to you, if a year ago I was stuck, I was frustrated with the leads, I was frustrated with social media, I was frustrated that I had been in this industry for a decade and I felt like everything I had built was slipping away because I couldn't get people to raise their hands and talk to me. And I invested in learning this strategy, and it's been a game changer. I love going to work every day. I enjoy what I do, and it's been so much fun. So if you are in that space where you're frustrated and you're stuck with your lead gen and not having anybody warm to talk to you, or you feel like you're just tapped out, just know that you're not, and that there is a light just on the other side. So don't give up. And I would just challenge you, like, jump in with us and let us help you, because it's so much fun, and you are going to have to stay above the trend or you will become obsolete in social selling. I mean, that is just the way it is. Colleen can attest to that.
Yeah. I mean, that's, oh man, I'm just connecting so many dots. Like, my Nerd Plus brain is just like, oh, we got this automation going here, and then we're going to this funnel, and we're going to redirect them over here. Oh man, this is so good. Yeah, this is an absolute, Elizabeth, you were absolutely right. This is an absolute steal. You should definitely make sure that you're taking advantage of this, because this is something that like me and Jenna don't really cover. And this is going to be really helpful for you to be able to get that content that is going to be catching the eyeballs, right? So think of this as like not ads. Like, while Jenna runs that weekly content strategy to create that engagement, right? This is your top of funnel actions that's going to draw brand new people from the internet into your ecosystem that you can then go and do that weekly content strategy. We can then use all these cool automations and funnels, right? So this is that top of funnel, just so you guys know, trying to throw out some throw out some like those fancy words so that you understand them. Because I know for a very long time I didn't know these fancy words and they didn't feel good. But yeah, top of funnel, right? Because a funnel is an upside down pyramid, right? Top of funnels where you're gonna have all the people. And as you get farther down the funnel, and that's basically clarifying that you're talking to your ideal client, you're gonna have less and less people to talk to, right? So while there are gonna be people who love her salty mom content that have absolutely no use for her coaching, right? That's gonna help build that bigger base, that bigger audience. Because also, you know what they're gonna do? They're going to have other salty content enjoying people who would be her ideal client. And they're going to share that because we all know, we all have those DM conversations that are just purely reels being sent back and forth. Let's not kid ourselves.
Absolutely. We absolutely do. And that's why you
so
your content to, like shareability, relatability, and repeatability is huge. You just hit the nail on the head. I couldn't have said it any better. I'm going to leave it right there. You hit the nail on the head, sister.
I love it. Well, with that, I'm so glad to have you out today. And if you guys have any questions, you want to learn more, just leave a comment in the Facebook group on this.
Extra nugget that we talked about. Tell them about the little extra nugget.
Oh, shoot. That's right. So, like, little surprise thing, like maybe putting together like a little summit action, right? Because we've got how to create the content. We've got the funnels and automations. We've got the magical Jenna, which I'm pretty sure we could convince her. And there's so many amazing, amazing badass women that we could, and probably dudes, maybe. We'll see. That if you guys, if a summit of this style would be of interest, then drop the keyword summit so we know that this is something you want, because we also don't build things until our audience says they want it. So if that's something you want, let us know in the comments and maybe we'll make it for you. It could be a surprise. All right. It could be. It would be super fun. It would be hella fun. It would be hella fun.
Yeah.
And well, with that, I think that's bringing us to a close. Try to keep these around 30 minutes ish so that people, rewatchability. Got to be real about that. With that, later, nerds.